Tonight, it's the 10th annual Starrcade 92, featuring Battle Bowl. Beginning in 1983, Starrcade has earned the reputation of being wrestling's premier event. The sport's biggest stars have competed in this annual spectacular over the past decade. And tonight, the tradition continues. 5 championships will be on the line, including a showdown for the WCW World's Heavyweight title, when former Florida State University football All-American Ron Simmons faces his top contender and current United States champion, Ravishing Rick Rude. It'll be the champion's power versus the challenger's devastating Rude Awakening. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Shane Douglas put their unified World Tag Team Championship up against the new combination of Barry Windham and Flying Brian Pillman. And the champions have revenge on their mind. For the first time in wrestling's history, the NWA title will be decided between 2 Japanese athletes on American soil. It'll be the master of the STF and current champion, Masa Chono, versus the high-flying Great Muta. Sting and Big Bang Vader are on a collision course tonight to determine the first King of Cable champion. Can Sting, last year's Battle Bowl winner and WCW's most popular athlete, derail the 450-pound monster from the Rocky Mountains? Plus, Sting will also attempt to win his second Battle Bowl championship ring. When via the random lethal lottery drawing, 8 teams will be formed to compete in the tag team portion of Battle Bowl. The winning 4 teams, 8 men, will advance to tonight's Battle Bowl Battle Royal finale, where it's every man for himself. Who will wear this year's championship ring? Find out next during the 10th annual Starrcade 92, featuring Battle Bowl. And now, let's go ringside with Jim Ross and Jesse the Body Ventura.
Welcome to Starrcade 92. It's great to have you with us live here in the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. Jesse the Body Ventura, 5 championships will be decided in this tremendous event, including the Battle Bowl, some great one-on-one matchups, and we have some big news in just a few moments regarding the World's Heavyweight title. But what a night it's going to be, the 10th annual Starrcade.
Absolutely, Jim Ross. It's my first time broadcasting the granddaddy of them all, Starrcade. I'm pumped up, Jim Ross. What action we got coming down this evening?
The World Tag Team Championship will be decided, as we said, the NWA title, the King of Cable Championship. Of course, the Battle Bowl title, we'll talk about that in a few moments, but we also have some big news regarding the WCW World's Heavyweight Championship situation. A lot of things have gone on today here in Atlanta, and Eric Bischoff is standing by, ladies and gentlemen, with a quick update on the World's Championship situation right here tonight at Starrcade.
Thanks, Jim. And it has been confirmed. Ravishing Rick Rude has suffered a herniated disc, and doctors confirmed that he is going to be out for a minimum of 5 to 7 weeks and will not be able to face Ron Simmons. Now, in a related statement, the WCW Board of Directors have announced that Dr. Death Steve Williams will challenge Ron Simmons for that WCW World's Heavyweight Championship tonight at Starrcade 92. I'm Eric Bischoff for the WCW Magazine. Back to you, Jim.
All right, Eric, thanks very much. A major announcement there. Rude injured. Dr. Death steps in. That should be still a great matchup.
It's a great opportunity for Dr. Death Steve Williams, but my heart goes out to Ravishing Rick Rude. I know for a fact this was the biggest day of his life, and the doctors won't let him wrestle.
Fans, in just a few moments, we'll go up to Tony Schiavone and some very important people in WCW, Cowboy Bill Watts and Hank Aaron, but we do want to show all you fans that the athletes are ready in the locker room area. Remember, the 11 more names will be drawn for the Battle Bowl competition. 4 tag team matches will be held here tonight. The winning 4 teams will then advance to the Battle Bowl finals. 8 men, it'll be every man for himself, over the top rope battle royal. Last year, in the inaugural Battle Bowl, the winner was Sting. And with a very special presentation of the championship ring, let's go up to Tony Schiavone.
All right, thank you very much, Jim Ross, and what a big night it is for World Championship Wrestling here at the Omni. Very honored to be beside of the Executive Vice President of Wrestling Operations, Cowboy Bill Watts, and the all-time home run king. You don't have to introduce this man in Atlanta or across the world, Henry Aaron. Let's hear it for Hank Aaron here with us. And Bill, what a great night we're having.
Well, that's right, Tony. You know, Battle Bowl was a dream of Dusty Rhodes, and it started in WCW last year. And there was a great champion of the Battle Bowl series was Sting. And we're starting a new tradition where every year the winner of Battle Bowl will receive a Battle Bowl ring, just like a Super Bowl ring. And we're going to give Sting the one for last year. Then whoever wins tonight will be given the ring for this year. And who better to give an award this prestigious to help establish this tradition for WCW than Hammer and Hank Aaron. If we can get the Stinger to come out now.
That's right.
All right, let's bring out Sting. Sting, here's your Battle Bowl Championship ring from last year. Hank, it is a beauty.
This is beautiful. Congratulations.
Well, Hank, 715 for you, and I hope that tonight in my home, that's right, Hotland is my home right now, I can make it number 2 years in a row.
Good luck to you. Good luck.
All right, Sting, last year's Battle Bowl champions. Our thanks, of course, to Hank Aaron.
All I want to say is let's hook 'em up.
All right, fans. Joining me tonight to make the Lethal Lottery drawings, Missy Hyatt and the legend Larry Zbyszko. Let's go to them at this time.
Well, thanks, Tony. You know, we've got 35 athletes in this locker room chomping at the bit, and only 11 of them are going to get a chance to face their destiny. I can't verbally express the amount of adrenaline flown in those back rooms, but tonight, you people are going to get to see it. Missy, last year you drew the Lethal Lottery, and this year you get to draw it again with the living legend.
Oh, wonderful. But Battle Bowl is going to be so exciting, and we're going to be drawing the names right here. But at the last Clash of the Champions, we drew the first 2 teams. Let's get ready for that match and go down to the ring with Gary Michael Capetta.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first contest of Starrcade 92. It is the first Lethal Lottery bout of the evening. It is set for 1 fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing team number 1. First, from New York City, weighing 291 pounds, heavy metal, Van Hammer. And ladies and gentlemen, his tag team partner, he's from Odessa, Florida. He weighs 294 pounds. Dangerous Dan Spivey. And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents in Lethal Lottery bout number 1. From Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, weighing 303 pounds, Cactus Jack. And his tag team partner from Macon, Georgia, weighing 235 pounds. He says he's the prettiest in World Championship Wrestling, Johnny B. Bad. Referee Randy Anderson assigned this first contest 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. And certainly some diverse wrestling styles on display here, Jesse.
I love it, Jim Ross. I mean, can you imagine Johnny B. Bad and Cactus Jack as a tag team? This is great. You're going to see more unorthodox stuff tonight than you've ever seen in the history of wrestling.
Well, they tried to be partners this past Saturday on WCW Saturday Night. not too successfully. It's Cactus Jack and Heavy Metal Van Hammer kicking it off for their respective teams. Collar and elbow tie-up, and Cactus Jack got the forearm in the corner.
Well, if it comes down to strength, it's going to go to Dangerous Dan Spivey and Heavy Metal Van Hammer. As you well know, Ross, Heavy Metal Van Hammer with the strongest arm in WCW.
Cactus Jack trying to bring Hammer out of the corner. Hammer too strong for him there. Hammer, Irish whips Cactus to the far side. Cactus caught him with a double leg pickup. And he's going for the cover, had his feet in the ropes. Good officiating there. Hammer just nails Cactus. He will be intimidated, it doesn't seem like, Jess.
Not intimidated at all, but I don't know if Cactus deserved all of that.
Tremendous impact into the corner. He scoops him up. Cactus just over 300 pounds. Slam to the canvas. High leg drop. Right across the face.
Could be the pin right here.
Lateral press. Got one out of it. First tag of the contest made. Johnny B. Bad in. Side headlock on Heavy Metal Van Hammer. They've been partners on occasion, these two. High hip block takeover. Drops the elbow. And hooked the leg. Another near fall from the lateral press.
And Johnny B. Bad doesn't want to have to match strength against Van Hammer. Beautiful arm drag takedown right there by Bad. That's what he needs. Whoa! And another variation of the arm drag right there. That's what Johnny B. Bad needs to do. Aerial tactics, beautiful. Head first right into the canvas. It's over.
They may have him here. 1, 2, and he kicked out at 3. Right before the 3 count, he got the shoulders up. Tremendous offensive flurry there by Johnny B. Bad, who makes another tag with Cactus Jack. We have yet to see a tag from Spivey and Hammer. Cactus hip locks him over. And nobody there for the elbow, and there's the tag. Here comes Spivey, the former Georgia defensive end. And New York Jet and Cactus Jack really clubbing each other.
And Spivey getting the better of the right hands out there. There's a reversal. Spivey hard into the buckle. Jack misses with a clothesline. Spivey misses with a clothesline.
Ooh, high impact.
But he didn't miss with that one.
Spivey showing his strength in the scoop slam. Ooh, gosh, he kicked him right in the ribs. What a thud there.
Right in the ribs with the point of the boot right there. Looked like a field goal from 50 yards out.
The winning members of the team in this match will advance to Battle Bowl. 8 men will be in Battle Bowl, and over the top rope, Battle Royal, every man for himself.
And there's Cactus Jack going to one of his standard moves, the eyes. I don't care how big you are, that'll slow you down. Quick tag, here comes Johnny B. Bad in there. And they don't look like they're getting along too good, Jim Ross. There's arrogance on Bad's face every time he takes a tag from Cactus.
Well, he got, from behind. It was Spivey with the knee, and he buried it right into the kidneys of Johnny B. Bad. And Van Hammer says, what are you doing? And he got a tag is what happened.
What's he doing? He's trying to win. That's what he's doing.
Right about that. So, what a slam.
That's what's interesting. You know, you're going to get guys teamed up with guys. Some of them don't care what they do to win. The other partner may want to stay within the rules, and that's going to cause problems itself in there between partners.
Spivey buries the forearm into that lower back area, kidneys of Johnny B. Bad, and now the bear hug.
And this is a move right here to keep Bad from getting a full breath of air. Spivey puts the big squeeze on him. Johnny B. Bad can't breathe too good. Throws him in the corner, and there's the tag to Van Hammer, who didn't like Spivey's tactics, but you see, he comes in the ring. He don't mind it now. He's up on top and in good shape.
Big slam, trying to take the breath from Johnny B. Bad. Lateral press and a near fall, a 2 count. Hammer has him up. Oh, what a suplex. And a near fall, another near fall.
Johnny B. Bad showing a lot of resilience, kicking out after that suplex, and here's the tag. And Dangerous Dan comes in with a big boot and then a big left hand.
There must be a winner to advance. A time limit draw, or if both teams are counted out or disqualified, means that they both will be eliminated from the competition. And Cactus Jack got the tag. Spivey just drove Johnny B. Bad outside. Cactus Jack and Spivey really hooking it up here. Cactus drives him face down. Heavy elbow, lateral press, and 300 pounds on Spivey, but he got a shoulder up.
And Spivey flings Cactus out to the floor. Now, I don't think Dangerous Dan wants to go out there on the floor with Cactus. Here's Cactus climbing back into the ring. They're not going to take it to the floor at this point in time.
Cactus got that foot in, and it comes back with that clothesline. High Impact Wrestling. It's a must-win. Cactus wants to make the tag. Johnny B. Bad, remember, was driven outside by Spivey after he made the tag with Cactus.
You don't think Bad's out there loafing, do you, Ross?
Certainly don't.
I don't know.
Side Russian leg sweep, another near fall.
He should be up there for his partner. What's he doing out on the floor?
Shoulder block by Heavy Metal Van Hammer. And, oh, Johnny B. Bad with the delivery of the elbow on Hammer, but he hit Cactus instead.
You're telling me he didn't do that on purpose?
Ooh, there's a left hook on his partner. 1, 2, 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, the team of Heavy Metal Van Hammer and Dangerous Dan Spivey.
I'll tell you what, Jim Ross. Johnny B. Bad ought to be ashamed of himself. Not only did he nail his own partner, then he hits him with the right hand and causes the team to lose. There you see Bad getting fired into the ropes by Spivey. Dangerous Dan catches him, and look at this. Slams him, wham, hard onto that mat. And there you see the right hand by Bad. Hits his own partner. Van Hammer rolls up Cactus, gets the 3 count, and Van Hammer and Dangerous Dan move forward.
Fans, we'll have our second tag team match in the Lethal Lottery. But first, we've got to find out who the teams will be. Let's go up to Tony Schiavone, Larry Zbyszko, and Missy Hyatt.
Thank you very much, Jim Ross. As you can tell, Missy Hyatt is ready to go and excited for our next Lethal Lottery tag team match. Missy has been spinning, and she'll draw the name. It'll be read by Larry, the Living Legend Zbyszko.
The Natural Dustin Rhodes.
The Natural Dustin Rhodes. Now let's find out who his tag team partner will be.
Van Vader.
Oh my goodness. Big Van Vader and Dustin Rhodes are a tag team in the next match. Now let's get their opponents.
Kensuke Sasaki.
Kensuke Sasaki will be on one of the teams. And now let's get the final of the foursome. Larry?
The Barbarian.
There you have it, Jim. Our next match in the Lethal Lottery.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Lethal Lottery bout number 2 from Austin, Texas, 261 pounds, the Natural Dustin Rhodes. His tag team partner, accompanied by 7-time former heavyweight champion Harley Race from the Rocky Mountains, 450 pounds, Big Van Vader. And their opponents, parts unknown, weighing 300 pounds, the Barbarian. And from Tokyo, Japan, 238 pounds, Kensuke Sasaki.
Our second Lethal Lottery tag team match about to go. 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. Again, if we do not have a winner declared, if both teams, for example, were counted out, if both were disqualified, both teams would be eliminated. And it's ironic that Rhodes and Vader met in the semifinals of the King of Cable Championship that the fans have seen on TBS.
Well, what's interesting, Jim Ross, is you're a professional. You're in this for the money. So it shouldn't really matter to you who your partner is. You're out there to win. You got to throw all bygones aside and concentrate this evening, because right now is what counts. And look at this matchup. The Barbarian and Big Van Vader, and they're going to shake hands. Look at that. Great sportsmanship, Ross. Great sportsmanship. Come on, admit it.
It warms my heart.
All right.
Collar and elbow tie-up. Vader 450. Barbarian just around the 300-pound mark.
Whoa, and couldn't take Vader. Hit him with a clothesline and couldn't even rock Vader off his feet.
Hit him with a stiff shot there with that clothesline. Ooh! Oh, look at the impact, and the Barbarian stays up.
Well, each man is gaining new respect for the other man right now.
Great strength. He scooped up the big man, and he slammed him with some real authority.
And I'll tell you what, that's picking up 450 pounds to shoulder level, turning it and depositing it on that mat. That takes power, Ross.
He really snatched him up there. Vader gets a headbutt in. And now forces the huge Barbarian in the corner right above us. Vader is a brute.
Whoa! Wow! And there's Vader returning the favor on the Barbarian. If you can slam me, I can slam you.
Ooh! Like two trucks running together.
The only thing moving is the ring.
Barbarian getting that additional momentum, but to no avail. Then the Big Van Vader just puts him on his back. Awesome power. Just awesome power.
With the patented double forearms of Big Van Vader, and here he goes boxing his ears. This is what Vader likes to do when he gets a guy in the corner. Rough him up, pound him, work him over like pounding meat in the meat market right there.
And the Barbarian really being manhandled by Big Van Vader in the corner. And Jesse Ventura is absolutely correct. That's where Vader likes to get his opponents, in the corner and work them over. Went for that kick, Barbarian able to avoid that. He got his clothesline in that staggers Big Van Vader. Man, these guys they're not feeling each other out, shall we say.
This is what you call power wrestling right here. Neither man wanting to give an inch. Each guy wants to take and give out the best they got to their opponent. This is respect time. They're earning each other's respect in there.
Vader.
There's our first tag of the match.
Vader tags in.
Whoa!
Little teamwork there by Rhodes and Vader. Lateral press, got the leg hook, could have him.
And I'll tell you what, I'm a bit surprised there, Jim Ross. A
Oh,
nice
good
little
move.
bit of teamwork. Wow. And look at that suplex by the Barbarian.
Barbarian and Rhodes also met in the King of Cable tournament. Lateral press, hooked the leg, got a near fall there. Great move offensively, and another counter by Rhodes. Rhodes counters quite nicely, and the Barbarian tags in the young Japanese powerhouse Kensuke Sasaki.
Now I think we'll see a little bit more wrestling rather than the clubbing and the power stuff. You're going to see some good moves here.
Rhodes with that broken wrist, thanks to Barry Windham. It doesn't catch Sasaki coming in, hooks the leg.
Ooh, I was wrong, Ross. They're hammering each other.
Everybody wants to get the Battle Bowl to win that ring. Oh, good move by Rhodes. He saw it coming and got the drop kick.
Caught Sasaki right in the abs, knocked the wind out of him. Big body slam if he follows up. Quick tag to Vader. It could be over right here.
Big Van Vader up on the second rope. Woo! What power. The mass of Big Van Vader.
Sasaki's going to think he's in Okinawa after that one. Big forearm by Vader.
Man, this has like been A demolition derby. Sasaki's nose has been busted, I'm not sure. Ooh, what a power slam. That's got to be all. 1, 2, he kicked out. That kid kicked out. Oh, what a display of courage by Sasaki.
I'll tell you what, he did that on instinct and power right there. Whoa. Sasaki with a drop kick. Forearm of his own, trying to knock Vader off his feet. Oh, but he ran into the boot.
Vader kicked him right in the face. Sasaki's lip has been busted open at the hands of Big Van Vader. That's where we saw the blood. We just couldn't see where it was coming from. It's from his lip or his mouth. And he countered the suplex. He countered the suplex. That low center of gravity certainly proving to be an asset there, Jesse.
And a good block move by Sasaki right there. He blocked Vader not once, he blocked him twice. There's a tag to the Barbarian and a tag to Dustin Rhodes. And we got fresh bodies back into the ring.
Rhodes Irish whip sink caught him in the midsection of that kick. Big running knee lift by the Natural. And the Barbarian goes down for the drop kick. Irish whip, middle of the ropes, far side. Taught him the lariat. High impact wrestling at its finest here. He has a leg hook, 1, 2. Did he get him?
No.
He got 2, a near fall.
And Sasaki had to come in and save his partner. Dustin's not exactly pleased about that little incident.
Rhodes and Sasaki having a fight here. Oh, Rhodes moved out of the way. He cradles Barbarian. 1, 2, 3, he got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of Lethal Lottery bout number 2, the Natural Dustin Rhodes and Big Van Vader.
Oh, Vader just nailed Rhodes. Big Van Vader just nailed his partner.
I don't understand why.
What's Race doing? Come on. What's the purpose of that?
I guess they're trying to eliminate him from Battle Bowl. Unbelievable. Look at that. Van Vader and Harley Race beating up their own partner.
Totally uncalled for, Jess.
Here you see Big Vader coming off and wham, catches Sasaki. Sends the Japanese head over heels. There's Rhodes out of the way. The Barbarian hits Sasaki, his partner. Rhodes steps in from behind, little bit of tights. Rolls him up into a cradle position and gets the 3 count and then gets hammered by his own partner.
Fans would like to remind you that WCW's next pay-per-view, the first one of 1993, will take place on Sunday, February 21st. It's Super Brawl 3. Super Brawl 3 coming your way exclusively on pay-per-view. We hope you'll join us on Sunday, February 21st for that one. And we'll have information on the card coming up in the next few weeks. All right, Jesse, I think you brought out a great point that Vader wanted to eliminate Dustin Rhodes because Vader and Rhodes now advance with Spivey and Hammer.
And you know who I think's responsible for all that, Jim Ross? Harley Race.
Oh, I don't
Always thinking.
I don't doubt that a bit. Our third Lethal Lottery Tag Team matchup is scheduled next. And right now, let's go back for the drawing of the next 2 teams.
Okay, Jim, here we go. We are now halfway through the Lethal Lottery. It is 4 more names to name on it.
Listen, I've done this before. You haven't.
All right, Missy.
Barry Windham.
Barry Windham, a man who is coming up a little bit later on again in a World Tag Title match. And his partner.
The Great Muta.
Barry Windham's partner, the Great Muta. And now let's get their opponents.
Too Cold Scorpio.
Oh, the high flyer, Too Cold Scorpio. And now, Too Cold Scorpio's tag team. Oh, my goodness.
This is going to be interesting. Flying Brian Pillman.
Jim, Jesse, how about that? Let's go back to the next match.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. First, from Sweetwater, Texas, weighing 278 pounds, Barry Windham. On the opposing team, Denver, Colorado, 237 pounds, Too Cold Scorpio. tag team partner of Too Cold Scorpio from Cincinnati, Ohio, 226 pounds, Brian Bryan. And Barry Windham's partner from the land of the rising sun, Tokyo, Japan, the Great Muta.
Well, what a matchup this should be. Remember, Windham and Pillman will challenge for the Unified World Tag Team Championship later in this broadcast. Their regular tag team partners will be pitted against each other in this one. And the Great Muta, of course, will meet one of his great rivals, Masahiro Chono, for the NWA title. Those two championship matches still to come. But still, these four men will compete and see who will advance to the Battle Bowl.
And we got Scorpio and Windham starting it off. The third matchup. And a beautiful move by Big Barry Windham. And a counter by Too Cold Scorpio, followed with a drop kick. Sends Windham into the corner and an arm drag. They're off and running, Jimbo.
Indeed they are, as Scorpio holds on to that arm, maintains his concentration, tries to maintain control of Big Barry Windham here. Windham showing his strength, but Scorpio again shows good tenacity and concentration, maintaining control of the arm. And Windham gets the tag to the Great Muta.
Look at Windham screaming at Muta.
Not only have they not been partners in the past, but there could be a language problem between Windham and Muta as well. Attempted roundhouse kick by the Great Muta. He and Scorpio both have that great aerial styles. Muta waistlock goes behind him, and it's countered by Too Cold Scorpio. They're in the ropes, and Scorpio makes the tag to Flying Brian Pillman. The former Cincinnati Bengal hammers away at the Great Muta, caught him with that knife edge.
And did you notice how Scorpio exposed Muta and allowed Pillman to get that kick in to take advantage?
Great drop kick by Pillman. He's going for the cover early and got two out of it. Shoulder block by Muta puts Pillman down. Oh, look at the agility of these two.
Whoa.
Caught him the drop kick. Side headlock takeover.
And I'll tell you, that Muta, he's like poetry in motion in that ring, isn't he?
He
the
certainly
guy is so smooth with the moves, the flips, the counters. Just a joy to watch that guy. And there comes Big Barry Windham.
Windham and his partner. This is going to be interesting here. Side headlock takeover, and Pillman counters his own partner, Barry Windham. Not in this match, but as we mentioned, they'll challenge Steamboat and Douglas for the World Tag Titles. But the Lethal Lottery is indeed named aptly. It's lethal.
Whoa! And look at the partners going toe-to-toe.
And they're laying the leather here.
They're gaining respect of each other. Now they're saying, wait a minute, maybe we ought to save it till later when we go after the tag titles.
Back in the corner they go, and the tag has been made. The Great Muta now. Irish whip, far side. Pillman kicks him right in the chest as Muta set for a back body drop. Grabs him by the hair and drives him face first into the canvas. It's Pillman with the advantage here. Another good shoulder block. Fast-paced contest. Oh, gosh! He got him! He caught him right in the jaw! What a karate kick by the Great Muta! And Pillman counters and takes him right into the turnbuckle.
What a move by Muta, but I'll tell you what, the resilience of Brian Pillman, he hung in there, and he got the advantage. Back tags Too Cold Scorpio, and here comes Scorpio back into the ring for his second venture of the evening.
Scorpio, that big clothesline. Lateral press. Neglected to hook the leg, Jess. Could have been a difference, perhaps.
Well, you get out there and in all the excitement, you make mistakes. You can make mistakes in wrestling in any sport.
Ooh.
And there's a mistake right there.
High risk move. Muta able to react and get his knees up. He drove them into the abdomen of Tuco Scorpio, and Muta makes a very timely tag to Big Barry Windham.
Scorpio telegraphed it, and Muta, the veteran he is, saw it coming, raised those knees up, changed the whole match. Wow! Big lariat by Windham, leg drop, whoa!
Wyndham's got him right there. No, he doesn't. I thought he had it right there. Front face lock by Windham. 6'6" from Sweetwater, Texas. Great suplex, floats over, lateral press, but Scorpio will not stay down.
Big, whoa, the right hand to Barry Windham. Look at that, he knocked him out, I think, Ross.
Scorpio.
He's out on his feet,
Yeah,
Scorpio.
May be exactly right. He's very listless here. Double drop kick. Good teamwork by Windham and Muta. And Scorpio is in big trouble.
Major league trouble. Whoa!
Power drive, elbow, patented. Great Muta offense.
And look at the fans here at the Omni, love it. They're chanting Muta, Muta, Muta.
He's had some tremendous outings right here in the Omni on his extended stay here in WCW.
You know, he truly is an international star, known all over the world because, you know, he's just so recognizable here in Atlanta.
Longtime world television champion. Nice counter move by Scorpio on the current IWGP heavyweight champion. Oh, what a move there. He may have it. Hooks that leg, and Muta able to get a shoulder up. Oh, what a kick. That spinning kick catches Scorpio and knocks him out on that ramp.
And what makes that so deadly, you have no idea when it's coming out of Muta. He spin, whoa, and look at, whoa!
Windham interrupts the count. Yeah, Pillman in. Muta throws Pillman outside. Windham front, oh wow! He planted him. He got him.
It's over. I don't care how good Scorpio is, it's over.
Muta up on top. There's a moonsault. Got the leg hook. 1, 2.
He got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, the team of Barry Windham and the Great Muta.
So Windham and Muta advance to the Battle Bowl later in this broadcast. And we have one more Lethal Lottery match left. Sting is already in it. We'll find out who his partner and his opponents will be. Let's go back up to Tony.
Okay, Jim, first of all, we will find out who Sting's partner will be in the next match, in the final match in the Lethal Lottery prior to Battle Bowl. Missy Hyatt.
A lot of envelopes left in here.
You're exactly right. A lot of names are left. Here's Sting's partner.
One of the last of the real men, Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
All right, how about that? Sting and Dr. Death will be tag team partners. Now let's get their opponents.
Eric Watts.
Young Eric Watts. And his tag team partner, this is the final name for the Lethal Lottery.
Juicin' Thunder Liger.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fourth Lethal Lottery bout set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, originally from Shreveport, Louisiana, now residing in Nagoya, Japan, Dr. Death, Steve Williams. And his partner, Venice Beach, California, 250 pounds, Steve!
The defending Battle Bowl champion and Dr. Death will be partners.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 258 pounds, Eric Watts.
Well, this is going to be very interesting. Dr. Steve Williams, a protege of Cowboy Bill Watts, now will be opposing the Cowboys' young son, Eric, the rookie sensation here.
And his partner from Tokyo, Japan, 210 pounds, former light heavyweight champion of the world, Jushin Thunder Liger.
One of the most spectacular offensive competitors in the history of the game, Jushin Thunder Liger and Eric Watts, tag team partners. And the referee calls for the bell. We talked about the language problem earlier with Muta and Wyndham. Wyndham and Muta are experienced veterans. Liger is a veteran, Watts is not. I'm sure they don't understand each other's language. This could be very interesting as Liger and Sting started out.
And listen to the crowd going crazy over this one.
Great crowd on hand here in the Omni in Atlanta. And we thank you for being with us wherever you are on pay-per-view. It's Liger with a side headlock on the Stinger.
Stinger a little bit too strong to go down. Jushin's only a light heavyweight.
Liger so quick. But I'll tell you something, Sting, about 250, 255, is extremely quick and agile for a man his size. Now I don't know if anybody's as quick and as agile as Liger in the sport. Sting with a wrist lock, tags in the powerhouse. Dr. Steve Williams, as you heard, will wrestle Ron Simmons for the World Heavyweight title.
And you can bet the Doc's gonna rough it up.
Due to ravishing Rick Rude's neck injury. Williams with a front face lock. These two men compete for opposing organizations in Japan. You'll never see this match in Japan, at least not in modern times anyway. Good arm drag takeover by Eric, taking down Dr. Steve Williams. And Doc blocks it, and this manhandles Eric down. Doc, a former four-time All-American at Oklahoma.
Well, Eric Watts is gonna get an education here. He's gonna find out what tough is all about. He's in there with Dr. Death.
Well, Eric he's got to get a Doc off his feet. And one thing about Eric, he has certainly mastered the STF, and that is a great equalizer. But Doc gets that foot in and clubs Eric with that forearm, which is a legal move, right in the mid-back area.
It definitely is an equalizer, Jim Ross, but you have to get yourself in position to be able to use it. And you can bet Dr. Death does his homework. He knows Eric Watts has the STF, and he's not going to put himself in that position.
Oh, crossbody. He hit him with a crossbody, but Doc's too strong. He powered out. Doc back up very quickly. Oh, man, you can hear that one. You can hear the impact of those blows.
Welcome to pro wrestling, Eric Watts.
Irish whip. I think the tag was made. Doc wasn't aware that there was a tag made. And Liger using those martial arts kicks right to the heart and sternum of Dr. Steve Williams. Irish whip right above us here. Liger just couldn't pull him out of the corner, and Doc just ran over it. He ran right over Liger. Big number 76 for the Sooners. Looked like he was pulling and trying to take out a linebacker. He ran right through it.
Well, Jushin found out. Welcome to Oklahoma football right there.
Near fall, but Doc had him there. Liger now in a lot of trouble as Dr. Death tags Sting back in. Sting, waist lock, turns Liger upside down. He's gonna do power bombing. No, he's gonna take him upside down into the top turnbuckle. And Sting pulls him out of the corner, going for the lateral press, and Liger able to kick out.
The resilience of Jushin Thunder Liger. He's not the biggest, but he's all heart.
Liger, sunset flip, trying to get him in that reverse cradle. Sting's got a wide base, but he couldn't hold it up. Now he's in the ropes and able to kick out anyway. Sting, that great leg strength. Makes another quick tag to Dr. Death. Hey, this team of Sting and Dr. Death showing some good teamwork here.
Well, the key to their team is they can communicate, Jim Ross.
Right, you're right.
I don't think Eric Watts and Jushin Liger could talk to each other. To my knowledge, Eric Watts don't speak Japanese.
Doc just tossed Liger right across the top or top rope rather. Stomps him with a flat of the foot. Makes a tag to Sting. High impact clothesline and another lateral press. Sting going for the cover, and Liger able to kick out again. I'll tell you what, Liger he's tough as nails. He's certainly, as you said, Jesse, showing great resiliency here. Tremendous slam and another near fall. Liger has been unable to really get untracked offensively thus far in the contest. We haven't seen him in his high-risk offense. Sting going for the splash, but Liger quickly moved out of the way, and Sting able to make a tag.
And that was a smart move by the Stinger. He missed his Stinger splash in the corner, but he spun around and tagged in Dr. Death, and Jushin Liger's in major trouble now. He's only 210 pounds to begin with, and Dr. Death has got him outweighed by about 50, 60 pounds in that ring. And he looks like he's going to measure him for a right hand.
Thunderous right hand knocks Liger down again. Well, Sting and Williams have slowed it down here with Liger in there, and they've executed some very timely tags. And that arm bar, look at the positioning of Williams' knee, his right knee, and at a pressure point there. Jerks Liger up, makes another tag. I'm impressed with the teamwork of Williams and Sting so far. Sting half Boston Crab. A submission maneuver.
You know, it's funny, but Liger just doesn't seem to be able to get his offense untracked here tonight. You noted that earlier, Jim. He just doesn't seem to be able to get it going. Liger fighting, makes it to the rope. He'll get a break that way.
Liger was an outstanding amateur in Japan before turning pro, as Williams viciously kicks him in the back of the head. He's doing it with the flat of the wrestling boot, which is a legal maneuver. Liger in a lot of trouble here. Obviously, now Doc taking advantage of the referee's count here, but he doesn't want to get disqualified. That would advance Watts and Liger to Battle Bowl.
But Doc can wait to a 4.5. He's not disqualified till the big 5. And he can choke, he can punch in the ropes all the way to 4.5.
Liger catches him with a sleeper, and Doc counters it. Oh, he folded him up like an accordion. He drilled him in the canvas, and what impact. Liger's body was doubled over in half. Doc makes the tag. Lateral press by Sting, and another near fall.
Well, Liger made that move to the sleeper out of desperation. He's in big trouble. He thought maybe if he could hook Doc, he could tire him out and get him down to a knee. But Dr. Death, too fresh, broke that. Look at the Stinger. Beautiful suplex right there. Textbook cover.
Near a fall with that vertical suplex. How much more can Liger sustain is my question. Williams has got his stampede that he hasn't utilized. Sting and his Stinger splash and the Scorpion Deathlock. He got the kick in. And takes him face first. And he's able to make the tag to Watts. So Eric Watts finally getting the opportunity here to compete. And Williams hammers him. But Eric fights back. He's not backing up from Dr. Death. Eric with a knee, caught him in the solar plexus, far side. Didn't get all of that drop kick as Doc tried to hold on the ropes. Drop kicks him back into the corner. He's trying to get him in the STF. He's trying to turn Doc over. He's trying to hook it. And Williams in the ropes. He almost had the STF applied. And I've never seen Dr. Death submit, but you gotta think he would have done it there. And Doc's left knee is giving him some problems, but he takes Eric right outside.
Well, Eric Watts claimed very, very close to getting a submission on Dr. Death Steve Williams, but Doc was too close to the ropes, too much of a veteran. Watts should have tried to catch it in the middle of the ring, couldn't do it.
Oh, oinko, good grief. took him back to the top rope. He's got the leg hook, and it's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Sting!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Battle Bowl field now has been determined.
Here you go, Jim. You see where Eric Watts got oh so close to hooking the STF. He turns Dr. Death over, gets the leg hook, spins around, tries to sink in the crossface, but you can see Doc makes it to the ropes right in the nick of time. And there's Dr. Death clotheslining the young rookie on the top rope, takes all the wind out of him, gets the 3 count. Doc and Sting advance to the finals of Battle Bowl.
Some very unique pairings, to say the least. And we now have, ladies and gentlemen, our 8 qualifiers for Battle Bowl. As you saw earlier, Heavy Metal Van Hammer and Dangerous Dan Spivey have advanced, as have Dustin Rhodes and Big Van Vader. Plus we saw Barry Windham and his partner, the Great Muta, victorious. And we have just seen Sting and Dr. Death Steve Williams. And Jesse, this gives Sting the opportunity to successfully defend his Battle Bowl title.
Well, he got through the first obstacle, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be very, very hard, Jim Ross, for anybody to get 2 rings back-to-back. I mean, that's like winning 2 NCAA titles back-to-back, 2 Super Bowls back-to-back.
You're exactly right. And fans, coming up in just a few moments will be the battle for the NWA World's Heavyweight title. Tony Schiavone and Larry Zbyszko are standing by. Guys, this next matchup should really be a classic.
Jim, you're exactly right. Certainly we have 2 guys from Japan, Masahiro Chono and the Great Muta, one-on-one for the NWA title. These 2 know each other quite well, Larry.
Well, you know, Great Muta, excellent aerial tactician, and Chono is a master of mat wrestling. Now, when you wrestle, sooner or later, you're going to wind up on the mat, and I think that's when Chono can get you.
Okay, Chono, of course, the master of the STF, a move that we saw Eric Watts flip on Dr. Death Steve Williams just moments ago. But I want to say, you know, the Muta, Great Muta has wrestled once before, not too long ago. What type of outcome is that going to matter in this match?
Well, from what I saw, the Great Muta is just warmed up. He's ready to go, but again, you're going to wind up on the mat sooner or later, and Chono is an excellent mat wrestler.
We are set to go for the NWA title. Chono and the Great Muta as Starrcade continues.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest of Starrcade 92. It is for the NWA World title. Set for 1 fall with a 1-hour time limit. Introducing first the challenger from the land of the rising sun, Tokyo, Japan, weighing 236 pounds, the Great Muta.
As Tony and Larry were talking, you saw the first time that Muta and Chono wrestled for the NWA title. It was in Tokyo. And I certainly want to congratulate WCW officials for signing the rematch. Promoters from all over the world bid on this one, but we're so happy to be able to bring it to you right here tonight at the 10th annual Starrcade 92. Back up to Gary, the introduction of the champion.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent. He's from Tokyo, Japan. He weighs 240 pounds. The NWA Heavyweight Champion, Masahiro Chono.
Fans, while the NWA champion makes his way to the ring once again, ravishing Rick Rude with a neck injury, unable to compete tonight. Dr. Death Steve Williams gets the nod and will challenge Ron Simmons for the WCW World title. That match will be coming up next, and we hope to have some more information on that situation.
What a disappointment for ravishing Rick Rude. Everything he worked for an entire year gone down the drain this evening.
But I understand there's some controversy, even more than we knew at the beginning of the program. We'll try to give you more information on that as soon as it has been confirmed. We have someone working on that. We hope to have some information on that. And there you see the prize they're wrestling for. One of the most recognized championship belts in sports, the NWA World Title. Snapmare by Chono. This is almost too close to call. Of course, in any championship situation, because of a time limit, the nod perhaps would go in an even situation to the champion, because you've got to beat the champion. He doesn't have to beat the challenger.
Absolutely. That's the advantage the champion has. The champion can get himself disqualified and hang on to the title. But I don't think either one of these guys are looking for any disqualification here. And I'll tell you what, I got to give WCW and Bill Watts a lot of credit for signing this match here at the Omni in Atlanta.
Chono, as Larry Zbyszko pointed out, a tremendous mat wrestler. He is a tremendous roundhouse kick there, and Muta stunned, has to back out of the ring. Chono is the real master of the STF, and Muta could not avoid that maneuver in their championship match that you saw some excerpts of. These two young men.
And this is the
excuse me, Jeff, I was going to say that these two young men knew each other as amateurs very well. Their rivalry goes back long before they turned pro.
But this is the first time they've ever wrestled each other for the NWA title.
In the United States. Overhand wrist lock. Chono side headlock with the advantage only momentarily. Shoulder block off the ropes. And Muta goes down. Tremendous impact. And you can, I really know what they're saying, Jess. You're a world traveler. Can you interpret the dialogue?
Nope. I'm pretty good at Tagalog, but I'm not that good at Japanese. And Muta bails out again. He's going to get a breath of fresh air. Of course, you can't blame him. He had a tough matchup earlier here in the evening. His stamina may be questioned a little bit. Chono may be a little fresher.
When I watched the videotape of their first match for the world title, it was pretty clear the strategy. Muta wanted to keep it at a quick tempo, aerial maneuvers, high-risk offense. Chono, the mat wrestler, trying to continually work on legs and set his opponent up for the STF. Now we've got to test his strength here. Both men on a vertical base, trying to gain an advantage. Oh, great counter there. Muta with the advantage. And a nice takedown.
And look at that, the knuckles still locked together.
Muta floats over, goes behind, full Nelson there. And grapevines the leg, trying to apply an abdominal stretch.
All he's got to do is hook the hands up on top if he wants it. Or as he's doing, he can drive that elbow into the ribs. Either way, very painful. And that's what Chono's got to do, is get that leg and arm unhooked, and great reversal right there by Chono.
First time in NWA history that two Japanese athletes have competed for that prestigious championship on American soil. We are coming to you live from the Omni in Atlanta. Muta trying to counter. And he is successful. Now, focusing on the arm of Masahiro Chono.
He reversed that, took it into an arm bar, got the feet placed in there, and he's going to take a little break right here and put the pressure on Chono's shoulder socket.
Chono maintaining control here. As we said earlier, Chono a little more methodical in his technique and in his strategy. Muta will take more chances if given the opportunity, certainly something that Muta or that Chono doesn't want to allow to happen. Muta kicks him into a hamstring and stomps down the inside of the knee. Snap mares him over. And figure 4 head scissor there. Really crimping the neck there, Jesse.
And that's a legal move. You saw the referee get in there to make sure it's not a choke with the leg. Referee got to get in there and look close at that because it's very easy, Jim, to slip that shin bone into the throat and choke your opponent out.
Chono counters out. Hooks the leg now. As we mentioned, the STF will really rip your knee. And we've seen many matches with the NWA champion, and this is pretty much his standard game plan. He will do all he can to work on the lower part of the anatomy. Chono tossing Muta outside here.
You know, Muta very smart. He knows he doesn't have to hurry back in that ring. As long as Chono's pressing the referee, it's going to break up the count. He can take a break outside. And look at that, Chono's firing him back out the floor. Now he's going out after him.
And Muta back in the ring very quickly.
And now he's got Chono at the disadvantage because Chono's got to enter the ring. Always better to be on the inside than the outside.
Chono with the advantage in the wrist lock. Turns it into an arm bar. And he's got that forearm right in the insertion of the shoulder. Now turns it into a hammerlock, Jess. Front face locks him down, maintains control of the hammerlock. And again, we see the mat wrestling technique of Masahiro Chono. He doesn't make many mistakes, certainly not in this particular position.
And that's where Chono wants the match, is down on the mat. He doesn't want to get caught flying through the air with Muta. He wants to keep him down and get it to mat wrestling because that's his advantage. The cruncher Larry Zbyszko brought that out. Larry very well schooled. He knows both of these wrestlers real well.
Chono holding on to that arm, just very tenacious. Muta tried to counter. It seems that Muta may be getting, just from the expression on his face, seems to be a little bewildered or perhaps a little frustrated.
Well, when you're an aerial wrestler like Muta, it's got to be frustrating to get tied up down on the mat. That's not where he wants to be. And look at this, Chono going up top.
And this is rather uncharacteristic for Chono.
And he got caught.
He sure did. He got caught up there. And Muta hooks him. And, oh, what a suplex! Right off the top.
Well, the champ Chono brought that on himself. He had the match under control. He had Muta down on the mat where he wanted him, but he took a chance. He went where he normally doesn't go, up to the top rope. Muta caught him, and now we're back to even Steven, Ross.
And Muta may have the upper hand here. Let's see if he can capitalize. Elevation. Muta seems to be gaining his second win. Single leg. Steps over into the half Boston Crab. The legs grapevine there now. He's got Chono in a situation that I'm sure Chono wishes was reversed. Muta, a lot of pressure. Now he's trying to rip the knee.
And there's an Indian deathlock. I wonder if they call it an Indian deathlock in Japan.
Submission maneuver. And look at Muta bridge. Oh, what a move here. He's got the head neutralized too.
He's pulling back on the chin and pulling up on the legs. Chono has got to be in great pain. We could see a submission right here, Jim Ross. Chono gonna have to do something, either grab the rope or do something to neutralize this. Great move by the great Muta.
How long can he hold it here?
The shape he's in probably all night. There, he must have heard you, Jim. He released it.
Chono in the ropes, and referee Mike Atkins calls for the break. And the Muta back up, or excuse me, Chono back up very quickly. And I think that caught Muta somewhat off guard, Jess. The champion snap suplex him down. Irish whip. Muta avoids a clothesline. Oh, he caught him! He caught him with that spinning kick, and it really dimmed the running lights of the NWA champion, Masahiro Chono, and Chono very quickly out of bounds here.
Chono, the veteran of he is, he took the blow and he slid out of the ring to recoup himself. Nothing wrong with that. It's no different than in pro football when a quarterback runs out of bounds rather than taking the hit or more punishment. Smart move on Chono's part. Get in and regroup and start again. But Muta catches him again with a foot to the midsection.
Neither man really been able to gain any sustained offensive advantage. And Muta caught him with that handspring elbow. He drove it right into his chest. And now the great Muta seems to be gaining the upper hand.
And look at Chono going after the knee again. Muta comes back with a kick to the hamstring area, picks him up, backbreaker.
Caught him with a backbreaker.
And Muta's going up, I think.
He loves that moonsault. High risk move. And Chono had that one well scouted. He rolled out of the way, and Muta may have jammed his knee there. And quickly to take advantage of the situation is Masahiro Chono, the NWA champion. Oh, what a kick. Got him right in the face.
Well, you know, Ross, those off-the-top rope moves are spectacular. They can win you matches, but likewise, they can lose you matches.
Muta fights back.
The thing to remember, if you go up to the top, you better hit. You better not miss. And Muta missed, and he's paying the price for it.
Inside cradle. 1, 2, and a 2 and a long. Oh, that was close. It was very, very close. A half away from a new NWA champion.
Well, the referee's got to make sure. He's got to make sure that it's a valid 3.
Oh! Both men attempting drop kicks. And a count out certainly will not behoove Mr. Muta. He's either got to pin or make Chono submit to win the title. Oh, what a suplex. Waistlock, go behind, and then he drove him with a suplex. And now Chono regaining the advantage. Got him up again, but a counter. He countered it 1, 2 and a half.
Oh!
Oh, that's close.
Man!
So close.
I'll tell you what, I think Muta might have got robbed on that one. Referee must have stopped a ½ an inch from the mat for the 3 count.
There goes the drop kick. Oh, Chono got it. Chono got the STF. He got the STF. He's got it hooked in. This is what happened their first match. He's gonna rip that leg.
Unbelievable, Muta's not submitting. There it is.
He's giving it up. He had to give it up. Chono's gonna win it by submission.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner via submission and still NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Masahiro Chono.
The STF. We've talked about what a vaunted offensive weapon that it is. And Jesse the Body Ventura, once again, we see what a devastating maneuver it is.
Here it is right here. There you see Muta Chono holding onto the ropes. Muta lands hard. Chono flips him over right there. Hooks the leg on the STF. Comes in. Hooks the face lock right there. Applies the pressure. And I'll tell you what. Muta held on longer than anybody I have ever seen in the STF. He held it as long as he possibly could, but ended up having to submit. Chono remains the NWA Heavyweight Champion.
Fans, as we mentioned earlier, we do know that Ravishing Rick Rude has a neck injury, will not be able to compete tonight. But this Saturday on WCW Saturday Night, a tournament will start to determine the #1 contender for Rude's title. Now, the winner of the 8-man single elimination tournament that starts this Saturday on TBS will meet Rude on Saturday, January 23rd on WCW Saturday Night for the U.S. title. Now, we also understand, we've been informed that if Rude is unable to compete on January 23rd, he's going to be stripped of the championship. So that's a lot of hard news for Rick Rude here tonight.
I'll tell you what, I think that's unfair. I mean, hasn't Rude suffered? Hey, we got Rude coming down the ringside right now. Hasn't Rude suffered enough? I mean, the man trained his entire life for this particular night, and now all of a sudden he's denied it?
Stabbed in the back by a neurosurgeon on the biggest day of my life with one stroke of the pen. A stinking doctor foils my chance at becoming world heavyweight champion. Now the WCW wants to twist the knife. They want to add insult to injury. The WCW is threatening to strip me of my United States title. It ain't right with a medical reason. If I can't defend, they intend to strip me not only of my title, but of my #1 contender position. It's funny, things didn't go down that way when Big Van Vader broke the ribs of a world champion named Sting. It's plain and it's simple. The WCW is conspiring against Ravishing Rick Rude. But what I want you people to know right now, it ain't gonna work. It ain't ever gonna work. You ain't taking my title.
All right, well, Ravishing Rick Rude obviously very, very upset.
To me, it's politics, Ross, at its worst level, what's happening to Rude.
You should know all about that. You're a mayor.
That's right.
So, yeah, you're right. Sometimes politics do stink. But the guy, if he's unable to defend his title on January 23rd, then he's going to be stripped of the title.
Yeah, but this is the 28th. Why wouldn't they give him till the 28th? That's 30 days.
I don't know. I'm not on the board of directors. You can go ask if you choose, but in any event...
Somebody can't count right. That's the problem.
The WCW World's Heavyweight Championship matchup will be next. And again, that tournament to determine the #1 contender for the U.S. title will start this Saturday on WCW Saturday Night on TBS. But right now, let's go back up to Gary Cappetta.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest of Starrcade 92. It is for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. It is set for one fall with a 1-hour time limit. Introducing first the challenger. Originally from Shreveport, Louisiana, now residing in Nagoya, Japan, weighing 287 pounds, Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
Dr. Death Steve Williams grew up in Lakewood, Colorado, went to the University of Oklahoma, 4-time Wrestling All-American, played in 4 bowl games, including 2 Orange Bowls, 1979 and 1980. Their opponents, the Florida State Seminoles, whose defense was anchored by the WCW World's Heavyweight Champion. Back to Gary.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent from Warner Robins, Georgia, weighing 275 pounds, he is the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Ron Simmons.
These 2 great athletes began their athletic rivalry when they were both young men in college. Williams, the offensive right guard for Oklahoma. Simmons was a nose tackle for Florida State. 2 great meetings in the Orange Bowl in 79 and 80. That last ball game, Jess, 18-17 Sooners.
Well, you know what? Dr. Death is one hell of an opponent for the champion Ron Simmons, but I'm going to go back to what happened to Ravishing Rick Rude and what WCW's doing to him, Ross. What they're doing to him is just as bad as when Bush pardons that crook Weinberger. Same thing. What do you think of that? That's dirty politics.
Well, Jesse, the thing about it, Rude hasn't defended the U.S. title since November. So, you know, you keep up with what's going on. It's been over 30 days anyway, so give me a break.
Maybe nobody stepped forward. Maybe nobody wants to challenge Rude.
Well,
that's how damn good he is.
Yeah, that's a ludicrous statement.
Well, I get ludicrous now and then.
All right, referee Nick Patrick calls for the bell. Rude has been given every break in the world.
Oh, he has not,
In the
Ross.
Halloween Havoc, he was supposed to wrestle 2 times. Weaseled out of that one. But in any event, this is for the WCW World's Heavyweight title. This is a match that Dr. Death Steve Williams has dreamed about. And Ron Simmons has got to be at a disadvantage. He had no time to prepare for Williams.
Yeah, but he's still the champ, and the champ has to be prepared to wrestle anybody. When you are the champion, you have to take into account certain stuff happens. And what happened to Rude happened. Look at this. Doc wants to shake hands, and Simmons, look at that. Good sportsmanship.
2 great athletes here in WCW. Great power contrast. Both these men extremely strong. Williams has the better amateur wrestling background. But again, Simmons is the man. WCW World's Heavyweight Champion. We know that Rude exposed Simmons' shoulder as a rotator cuff injury. He's wrestling, obviously, with that injured shoulder. It is obviously yet to be determined if Williams will attempt to exploit that injured shoulder.
You can bet Williams will if he knows about it. Because this is a chance of a lifetime for Dr. Death right here. Starrcade 92, he can win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
And when he came here today, he thought he was only going to compete as one of the many men hoping to be via the Lethal Lottery in Battle Bowl. He and Sting have advanced to Battle Bowl. Well, the great upper body strength of Ron Simmons, who you got to believe, Jesse, will want to keep it real basic here against Dr. Death.
Well, right now, Simmons with that vicious side headlocker with those big arms. Doc's ears are popping right now. He's got to find a way out of this. This is a wear-down hold right here, and believe me, when you got guns like that around your head, it's going to wear you down.
Oh, they run together there.
Nose tackle to pulling guard.
Oh, Simmons says, let's get down here.
Looks like we're going to play a little football without pads. Little bit of old-time football. This is from the days before they had helmets and pads.
You can see and hear the impact. With all of that clothesline. And now Simmons, again, with control in the armbar.
Well, the champ outsmarted Doc on that one. Doc was fully prepared to go shoulder to shoulder again, and the champ didn't want no more of that. Leapfrogged over the top, caught Dr. Death with the clothesline, steps in with a big arm bar, and putting the pressure on that shoulder socket of Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Williams pulls his arm free, rolls out of bounds, trying to regroup a little bit here. Again, he'll have a 10 count to shake it loose, get back in the ring.
Well, that 10 count just got broken because The champ Ron Simmons came over and interfered with the referee's count, so he's got to start it all over again.
Doc in at 6. Simmons again with the advantage, using that tremendous upper body strength. And Doc grabbed a handful of hair, pulled him back into the ropes. Referee admonishing Williams.
Look at Simmons, the champ acts surprised. He don't think Doc's going to break a rule. Doc's going to do whatever it takes to win the title. Ron Simmons should know that.
It'll certainly be hard to find two athletes in professional wrestling with more amateur accolades than these two. And Williams got him with a forearm, and Simmons getting rather irate here. Maybe Doc's just trying to frustrate him, Jess. It was illegal. The forearm's legal.
Absolutely. I don't know what the champ's griping about. Forearm, as you said, Jim, is totally legal. Closed fists, you can complain, but a forearm, you can't.
A lot of impact on the shoulder of Williams on that insertion point at the shoulder. And Doc again blatantly pulled the hair and threw big Ron Simmons down. And well, here come the right hands.
Well, somebody said something to somebody, and it all erupted, and the champ's getting the better of it.
Simmons hammering Doc. As he reeling. Williams reverses the Irish whip. Oh, but he had caught coming in. Right in the face. And Big Ron takes Dr. Death down. Simmons got the lateral press. And Williams so strong, he's able to power out. Again, Ron right back with that arm bar, keeping his opponent on the canvas. Sound strategy for Simmons, by the way.
I'll tell you, that was a gorgeous elbow that the champ Ron Simmons caught Dr. Death. Doc was coming in with a full head of steam. Simmons raised that elbow, caught him flush on the face with it.
Simmons tried to slam him on that arm. Doc pulled it free before he could do it. And now Ron up on top. High-risk move here by the champion, and Williams able to sidestep him. And slam him, the sidestepped him and swept him right on down to the canvas. And that was very uncharacteristic of Simmons to go to the top.
Well, I'll tell you what, I talked about it in an earlier matchup. If you go to the top, you had better hit. Because if you don't, it can cost you, and in this case, it may cost Ron Simmons the World Championship. And Doc's taking his leg outside.
Doc trying to pull him outside. And he drives that knee right across the edge of the ring. Doc trying to rip the ligament in Simmons' knee.
And Dr. Death has seen his opening now. He's got the champ Ron Simmons hurt. He's got the leg hurt. And you can bet Doc, yeah, he's going right after it. Drop kick right to the knee and thigh area.
Doc turns him over. Another half grab here. Can't quite see what he's trying to do here.
He's driving the knee into the glute and pulling back on the leg and the knee and the hamstring.
Look at the bend in Simmons' ankle there.
Look at the weird position his knee's in.
Yep.
Driving that heel of the boot into the hamstring right there. And the champ's in trouble.
Williams assaulting Simmons' leg. Simmons trying to block it, obviously. Ron got the right hand in. Doc leaned his head over a little too far there. Simmons took advantage of that. And oh gosh,
he planted him with that one.
Sure did.
Right in the side of that knee. Football, you'd get a 15-yard penalty for that. Wrestling, it's a great move.
Simmons able to pull himself up. But his mobility is certainly going to be lessened in this heavyweight championship event. It's Oklahoma and Florida State here on Starrcade 92 with Williams in control here.
Well, all I got to say, Jim Ross, it's a good thing it ain't Oklahoma and Florida State this year.
You got a point there.
I think the Sooners would come out on the short end of the stick this year.
Referee asking Simmons if he wants to give it up. We saw Ron shake his head no. Doc really put a lot of pressure on the knee joint. And Simmons trying to use his free leg and foot to kick himself free, and he's been successful at that.
I'll tell you what, though, the champ's taking a lot of punishment on that left leg. Doc needs to stay after the leg. Yep, there he goes. Smart move by Dr. Death. Don't exchange with him up high when you got one of his wheels bent and wrecked.
Williams can be very focused, as we are seeing here. Again, using the flat of the foot. Again, we point out a legal maneuver.
Look at that, driving the foot into the kneecap area.
Relentless. But Ron catches Doc coming in with the elbow. Now landed his right hand.
And look at that, right back to the knee again. Simmons, the champion, might get 3 or 4 of them in, but all Dr. Death has to do is go back to the knee. Whoa!
Man.
You know what? The champ may not be able to continue. We may see a submission here. If Simmons can't operate, if he can't get to his feet, he may have to give it up, Jim Ross.
Simmons pulls himself back up, and look at the champion of the world fight back. Doc rakes the eyes, single legs. Look at the man, he just manhandling. Doc able to use his strength into that short back breaker, hooks the leg, and Simmons again, who has that tremendous upper body power, able to kick out. But the champion of the world is in big trouble, as much trouble as we have seen him in since winning the title. Doc raking the eyes. That stopped Simmons momentarily. They caught in the clothesline.
In my opinion, I think Dr. Death should stay on that leg. Why worry about a pinfall? He can get a submission. There he goes. He's listening to me, Jim. Great maneuver right there by Dr. Death. Back to the leg.
Right back on it.
Look at him driving the knee into the other leg, separating those legs. The champ, Ron Simmons, trying to reach for anything, but Doc's in great position right here.
Doc tucks his head in there where Simmons couldn't get the headlock. Really a gut check for the champion of the world here. Doc's got it wrenched in, trying to make Simmons give it up. Twisting on the ankle, good pressure on the knee, and he flat the foot right in the hamstring. And Simmons with those huge hamstrings, certainly in trouble. Oh, slam with authority.
Whoa.
And Williams has just dominated this matchup offensively. Down in that three-point stance. Simmons makes his way back up. And Doc takes him off his feet with a shoulder block.
Right to the knee, Jim Ross. I don't think Simmons is going to be able to stand up anymore. See, the tough part about this ain't football. You can't send in a substitution here. You can't get a guy to the sidelines if he's hurt. He's got to stay in there.
Doc going, oh, Simmons caught him. He caught Doc coming in. The champion of the world caught Dr. Steve Williams coming in. And now can he capture the momentum here. Sidewalk slam. It was a modified version. His knee almost gave way. And now Simmons wants to go down in his three-point stance. It's a mano-a-mano here.
Wow, he's going after Doc's knee now. He got it again.
Williams in trouble. And Doc avoided Simmons, who went all the way outside. Simmons able to land on his feet. Doc kicks him away.
And they're going to the floor. They're going to the floor.
Doc hammers him. Simmons and Williams fighting on the outside. The referee will use his 10 count. He's up to 5. Oh, Simmons. Did he get the post, I think? Or did he get Doc?
Oh. There he got the post.
They better hurry back in the ring. That's a 10. They've both been counted out. They've both been counted out, it would seem. We have to see what the official decision is. Williams and Simmons still fighting.
We've heard a bell, so this match is obviously over. Look at this. Doc picks the champ up out on the floor. Whoa!
But Simmons runs him into the steel ring post, shoulder first.
Ladies and gentlemen, both wrestlers have been counted out of the ring.
Doc attacks Simmons again. Both men been counted out of this one.
This match is over. Simmons is still the champion.
Oh! Simmons retains the title, but here comes another one of the officials. Doc now trying to pin him. Doc's gone a little goofy here.
There'll be no count here. Both men counted out outside the ring. Ron Simmons remains the WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Man, I'd like to see a rematch of this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed by senior referee Nick Patrick that the decision has been reversed. Dr. Jeff Steve Williams has been disqualified. The winner and still WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Ron Simmons.
Wait a minute. How can you disqualify someone when the match is already over?
He reversed the decision for Doc coming off the top rope.
That's
and
ridiculous.
Him in.
They don't reverse Super Bowls. They don't reverse NBA championships. That's ridiculous.
Well, that's certainly your
The
opinion.
match is over. You can't get a reversal when they've already had a count out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going back up to Tony Schiavone and Larry Zbyszko. Now here's a little bit more about Super Brawl 3.
No question about it, Super Brawl is going to be exciting, but here during Starrcade, the granddaddy of them all, Larry, coming up next, the battle for the Unified Tag Team Championship. Four men who know each other quite well, and all begin back at Clash of the Champions on November 18th.
You know, a lot of people have been putting thumbs down to Barry Windham, but you've got to understand that Barry Windham is a very frustrated man. I personally don't blame him for the actions that he took against Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas. Barry Windham rightfully should be one half of the tag team champions as we speak.
No question about it. And then just this past Saturday on WCW Saturday Night, what a wild brawl between all four men as we go into this matchup. And Larry, I've got to ask you a question. Maybe for the first time in the history of this sport, we're having two men go after the tag team championship who earlier in the night faced each other. Now, Apparently, there was a little bit of animosity during that match between Wyndham and Flying Brian. Do you think they can patch things up before this match?
Yeah, definitely I do. You know, adrenaline flows, but now we're talking about tag team match. It's going to take tag team effort to win it, and Barry Windham, Flying Brian are both professionals. If there is a weak link at all, I think it may be Shane Douglas, but he's pumped up too. This is going to be one exciting contest.
It certainly is as we go to the ring for the Unified World Tag Team title.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, it is for the Unified World Tag Team Championship. It is set for one fall with TV time remaining. Introducing first the challengers, total combined weight 510 pounds. First from Sweetwater, Texas, Barry Windham. His tag team partner from Cincinnati, Ohio, Brian.
Fans, we want to make sure that you understand that last ruling. The referee's ruling was that Williams attacked Simmons after the bell, came off the top rope. The referee reversed his original decision. Simmons retains the title via disqualification.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents, they are the Unified World Tag Team Champions at a total combined weight 465 pounds. First, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Shane Douglas. And from Charlotte, North Carolina, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Gary Michael Capetta has completed his introductions. And certainly a great deal of animosity exists between these four phenomenal athletes.
Well, Big Barry Windham kind of brought it on himself. You know, I was there conducting that interview, Jim Ross, with the champion Shane Douglas and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat when Windham came up and glommed them both with a chair.
Steamboat's head split open as a result of that. Stitches were required. And it's obvious that Steamboat hasn't and never will forget that.
He's taking it personal. You can't take it personal.
Going to be Douglas and Pillman. Starting it out in this Unified World Tag Team Championship event.
A little bit of color here. You know, Shane Douglas, you know who his idol is, Ross? Rush Limbaugh. Imagine that.
Probably not a bad deal. I like Rush Limbaugh myself.
You would.
Collar and elbow tie-up. Douglas with the advantage, forcing Pillman back in the corner. We got a clean break.
This should be a great matchup right here if Flying Brian wants to go scientific. That's what I love about Pillman now, his new style. He can wrestle with anybody, and now he roughs it up, too. Makes him twice as dangerous.
Waist lock by Pillman. Nice counter by Douglas. Douglas has got a master's degree.
He does?
Highly educated young man, sure does. Pillman buries his shoulder to the midsection. Ooh, caught him in the knife edge. Forearm shot right to the face. Reversal of the Irish whip. Pillman puts on the brakes. Great athletic ability. Hook block high. Takes him over. And Douglas got the right hand in. Ordered another chop there by Pillman. And this one was getting quick. Douglas sat down with that wide base and blocked any attempted offense by Pillman there.
Yeah, and look at Shane Douglas shaking his hand. Why is he shaking it? Because he's punching with a closed fist. You know, for a guy who's supposed to wrestle scientific, he sure is trying to break every hold that Flying Brian Pillman puts on him with a closed fist.
Advantage Pillman. Wrist lock, but it's countered quickly by Douglas. And Douglas turns into the hammerlock, but not for long. Ooh. Right above us here. Pillman done some choking. Quick movement here in this contest, and it's Douglas with a drop kick. He catches Windham as well.
And now a double team, double drop kick on Big Barry Windham. And the champs are rolling.
Pillman's still the legal man in this match. A lot of double teaming here. Referee's just about lost control of this one. Got to get Steamboat back on the outside. Pillman wisely stayed on the outside. Now as he moves around to assist his partner.
And I agree with you, Ross. The referee better get some type of control. This is a tag team matchup. Supposed to be one man from each team in the ring.
Well, as we said, this was a very emotionally charged matchup. Not to mention it's for wrestling's richest tag team prize. Steamboat's ready to come in.
Look at this.
Fans here in the Omni are ready for him to come in as well.
Windham wants Steamboat, and it's Steamboat he's gonna get. Look at this.
Tremendous martial arts display by Steamboat. He takes him down with a double chop. Front face lock. They got the big man from Sweetwater up in the suplex.
And I'll tell you what, Big Barry wanted to tag out right there, and the Dragon wouldn't let him. Hooks in that front face lock. Drags him back to his corner, big right hand. Follows it up with another one.
Snapmare, Steamboat takes his bigger opponent down, right in his corner, makes the tag to Shane Douglas. Douglas comes off the top, legal maneuver, and he snapmares Windham dangerously close to Windham and Pillman's corner.
He hooked the reverse chin lock in time, though, and dragged Barry Windham back to ring center.
Windham back up to a vertical base, but it's Douglas with the control and the side headlock. Strength by Windham. Great counter move. He dropped Douglas right on his back. Got to take the air out of him there. Windham tipped to the right hand, it was blocked. Douglas right hand successfully makes a tag to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Ooh! Steamboat, another chop there. Snapmares Windham over and snaps the neck. And he nails Pillman, who was on the outside.
You know, it's not above Steamboat to throw a cheap shot in every now and then, and that's what he did right there on Flying Brian.
He caught Windham and knocked him all the way outside over the top rope. And he's got him up and slams him out here, right on the hard floor. The Atlanta Knights hockey team plays here in the Omni. There's ice below that particle board, so it is hard and cold.
I'll tell you, I've never seen Ricky the Dragon Steamboat this vicious in his whole career.
Windham pulls his way back up on the ramp, and Douglas is there. He got him up. Oh my! Good grief! He slammed him right on that rampway and jarring every bone and vertebrae in Windham's body. Windham in big trouble. Thrown over the top backhand. The champion's in control.
Wyndham trying to make a tag, can't get there. Steamboat, whoa!
Swinging neck breaker.
Reverse neck breaker, cover, this could be it.
Wyndham able to kick out. Steamboat went for the cover. Front face lock. Look at the position of Steamboat near his corner. Makes the tag. Giving his partner Shane Douglas a tremendous opportunity here.
You know, you could tell the champs didn't take too kindly to Wyndham when he introduced him to that chair, did they?
Oh, he certainly didn't.
I mean, they're not just out to beat Barry Windham, they're out to hurt him. A body slam out on the floor, a body slam on the ramp. Wyndham in big trouble here.
Wyndham's neck is crimped there, and he works his way back up to the base. Now, got his head underneath Douglas. Oh, and he drives it. Oh, he drove the top of his head right up into the face of Shane Douglas. And now let's see if Windham can get a much-needed tag.
He does.
He does it. Pillman now with the opportunity to widen the advantage. He drives his head up into Douglas and then slams him to the canvas. Hard chops, just thunderous. Right on the chest, Irish whip, and Windham's there with the elbow. Pillman landed on his feet on the apron. And Douglas drop kicks Pillman. Oh! Oh, he caught the steel.
Pillman's out on the floor. I'll tell you what, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And right there, Shane Douglas was lucky. He hit Pillman with that drop kick. Pillman spun out to the floor, caught his chin right on the outside metal railing.
Douglas wants to get him back in quickly so I would think, try to put him away here. Douglas now, another high-risk move. And Pillman, oh, Pillman, my gosh, Douglas drop kicked all the way off the top. He may have ripped his knee right there.
And give credit to Barry Windham on that also. It was Windham that just, whoa, and he caught him with a clothesline out on the floor. It was Windham that distracted Douglas, which allowed Pillman to catch him with that drop kick off the top.
Well, that's teamwork. Whether you like it or not, it's certainly teamwork. And there you can see that particle board we were telling you about covering the ice here at the Omni. There's no padding there. He landed flush right on that hard surface, and that may be more than Douglas can recover from.
We could well see new champions here.
Let's see the teamwork now, the challengers. They have young Shane Douglas in a great deal of jeopardy. Douglas, who has less championship match experience than any man in this contest, has been separated from the pack, so to speak. A long way from his corner, and he certainly will be well served to make a tag. Windham, headbutt. Staggered him.
That hurt Barry Windham. You better not be butting heads, otherwise you could end up with the worst end of it. Big right hand by Barry Windham.
Steamboat getting very emotional, and rightfully so. He may be seeing the Unified World Tag Team Championship taken away from him right here. Windham having a verbal confrontation with Randy Anderson, the referee. Douglas fighting back, but Windham got that big cowboy boot right to the chest.
Well, Douglas has been so hurt that he's throwing those lefts and right in there. But they don't have the zip on him that they had earlier in the bout. And look at this, Brian Pillman doing the dirty work. Referee's tied up, and Pillman throwing big forearms to the throat area and the head area of Shane Douglas, doing the damage.
Pillman with those forearms are clubbing right in the chest and the throat, driving the air out of Shane Douglas. Douglas gasping for air here. And this kid is next snap. He tried to block it there. And look at a cheap shot by Pillman.
Hey, the ref ain't looking. You got to sneak him in when you can. That's what it's all about.
Ooh. Man, the oohs and ahs of this great crowd here in the Omni. More of those thunderous chops by Pillman. Look at Douglas fight back. The youngster.
Look at the smart move by flying Brian Pillman. He went down, but he hooked Douglas's leg, made the tag to Big Barry Windham. Windham comes in, drops the elbow on him, and fires him out to the railing again.
Well, Windham throws him out. Douglas' feet caught the top of the railing, obviously driving his head and shoulders back down on this hard surface here. There you Steamboat's got a chair. It got
stunk. Ricky Steamboat should have been disqualified. That was the cheap way because Steamboat knew he was a winner either way. If he didn't get caught, this is what happens. If he did get caught, he was disqualified. You can't lose a title.
Wyndham makes a tag to Pillman. And Pillman in very quickly to regain the advantage. Tremendous move by Pillman. The suplex. It could be over here. The leg is up. There's one. And one, two. And Douglas trying to kick out. Pillman can't keep him down. Douglas is fighting with every ounce of strength in his body to retain the World Tag Titles. It may now, though, just be a matter of time. This kid has had a lot of role models, like Bruno Sammartino, Magnum TA. But right now, it's all up to him. A real gut check for the young tag team champion. Great teamwork. You've got to hand it to Wyndham and Pillman. This is an outstanding team. Big Barry steps right off the top. All 6 feet 6 inches of him, and he drives the right hand right into the face of the kid from Pittsburgh. Another suplex. He drilled him with it, and this should be it. This should be it. 1, 2, and Steamboat in. But Pillman did get, Douglas got the shoulder up, Jess.
He got it up, probably with a little help from the Dragon. I'll tell you what. Shane Douglas in major trouble here. Wyndham needs to put one finishing move on him, and we got new champions.
Well, win, lose, or draw, you got to be impressed with the desire of Shane Douglas. A lesser athlete would have been pinned long ago, and Pillman catches him with the elbow. Front face lock. Snap suplex. Tremendous pressure on the back and spine. And Pillman with a big splash. 1, 2, and no! He didn't get him. A half a count away.
And you saw Steamboat again getting in the ring, and there comes Steamboat now. He's made a mistake, though. Steamboat's tied up the referee, and they're working Shane Douglas over in the corner.
Well, that was a tactical error by Steamboat. Obviously, he's emotionally involved, to say the least, in a near fall. Man, how much more can Shane Douglas sustain in this match? Another tag. They have tagged incessantly. They have made many more tags than have the champions in this contest. Is groggy, but he's not gonna tag. I thought Wyndham was gonna tag Pillman. And
there's the tag.
Steamboat is cooking up both men. Scoops up Wyndham. He scoops up Pillman.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat cleaning house, the ring reversal by Wyndham. Beautiful power body slam by Big Barry Wyndham.
Wyndham used his power and leverage. He got Steamboat up, and he really drove him home with that power slam. And now Steamboat's in trouble. Oh, gosh, what a suplex. What a suplex. And Wyndham makes a tag. Pillman nails Douglas.
Oh, that's a sucker move. That's a sucker move. He threw him over the top.
And the referee did not see if that would have been a disqualification.
And look at this.
Oh, that's another disqualification, but the referee didn't see that either. He rammed him right into the steel post. And Steamboat is just about out of it. They have separated his shoulder there. Well, Pillman's got to get him in the ring because you go home with no gold on the countout. Look at Steamboat. Steamboat caught him with a big chop. 1, 2, and Pillman kicked out, and Wyndham drove the knee right into the lower back of Ricky Steamboat. Wow. Ooh.
They're going chop to chop in there. Where the Dragon's getting it from, I don't know.
Oh, Pillman, great counter. Great counter by Pillman. He says that's all. And it may be 1, 2. But that's it, 2. A hard, solid 2. Another tag made. Wyndham clubs the forearm right on the back, trying to dry the air out of Steamboat. And look at Steamboat. What's he doing, Jess?
I don't know. He's lifting his finger up and he's lecturing Barry Windham. I don't know what on earth he can lecture him about.
He's about out of it. He may be incoherent here. Windham looked a little puzzled. As to what's going on. He didn't even give the right hand. And look at Steamboat fight back. He can barely stand. The ropes are holding up the Dragon.
But the Dragon's coming back. Oh, but Windham cuts him off with a big boot to the abs.
And now Windham up on top. Steamboat able to avoid it. Caught him coming in. Martial arts kick caught him in the face. Irish whippers reverse. They go left to right. But it's Steamboat showing great quickness. Taking Windham down face first. The Unified World Tag Team title is on the line here.
Wyndham makes a tag. Here comes Flying Brian. Steamboat makes a tag. Shane Douglas. 2 fresh men in the ring.
Douglas trying to fight them both off here. All 4 now in there. Oh, Pillman elevated. He wanted a couple of zip codes on that one. Oh, good grief. Wyndham landed on his head outside as he and Steamboat went over. Irish whip.
Well, Douglas and
Douglas. Oh.
Douglas and Pillman are the legal men.
And Douglas got him in the belly. It got him in the belly to belly.
He got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners and still Unified World Tag Team Champions, the team of Shane Douglas and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
That was a hell of a tag team wrestling match right there.
Great matchup, great matchup. It's a shame one team had to lose, but the champs hold on. Let's go back to replay. There you see Shane Douglas in the center of the ring. Pillman going off the ropes. Douglas catches him with the belly to back, slams him in. Magnum TA be proud. 1, 2, 3, and Steamboat Douglas retain the Unified Tag Team Championship of the world.
Belly-to-belly suplex, tremendous move there by Shane Douglas. And in just a few moments, we're going to go back up to the ring. It's time to determine the King of Cable. Big Van Vader and Sting certainly no strangers to each other. We saw just a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact, on TBS, Big Van Vader with a tremendous attack on Sting, that big splash, tried to put Sting out of it. But no doubt Sting would not accept what has happened there as he came back and nails Vader with a 2x4, Jess. This is a great rivalry, and we're going to see how it all ends right here at Starrcade 92.
And remember something else, it was Vader who took the world title from Sting. So, as you said, history in the making here. Maybe they'll finally blow it off in the King of Cable match.
You've got to talk about strategy in this match. I think, I talked to Sting just before we went on the air. He's going to try to extend Big Van Vader as far as he can take him. In other words, Sting's got to survive the first 10 or 15 minutes of the match and hopefully extend Vader and hope that fatigue sets in.
Well, Vader's in great condition, Jim Ross. That could backfire on the Stinger. I think you take the win when and if you get the chance to do it.
The winner will receive the King of Cable trophy. The trophy and Gary Capetta are in the ring. Let's go there now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is for the King of Cable and the King of Cable trophy. It is set for one fall with TV time remaining. Introducing first, being led to the ring by 7-time former World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race from the Rocky Mountains, weighing 450 pounds, Big Van Time to go to war!
Yeah, you heard what he said, Jess. It's time to go to war. He's a one-man army.
Got a sign, it's Vader time.
Wow, you hold that trophy up with one hand. That's a heavy trophy, I'll tell you. One fall, TV time remaining. Back to Gary.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent from Venice Beach, California, weighing 250 pounds, this is Sting!
Big Van Vader steps outside out there on the ramp. Vader and Sting facing off here. Ironically, this will not be the last time that they will step in the ring together tonight, because both have qualified for Battle Bowl. But I'm sure that the Battle Bowl ring is not on their mind now. It's the King of Cable Trophy here at the 10th annual Starrcade 92.
And look at Big Vader posing. I love it. Double bicep shot. Not a lot of definition, but plenty of mass.
What an athlete is that man, Big Van Vader. Two former WCW World Heavyweight Champions. They went through the tournament bracket successfully, and here we are. As we said, Sting's strategy was very simple. He said, I've got to survive the early minutes of the match. I've got to take Vader physically where he has never gone and make him carry that 450 as long as he can. I think the strategy is sound if he can execute it.
And look at Vader with a little slap trying to get Sting out of his game plan. Vader wants Sting to challenge him. Look at that, mashes his hand into the paint. Vader's gonna try to insult Sting. Get him to come at him. And that'll be a big mistake if the Stinger does it.
Sting with those lefts and rights. And Vader says, no pain, no pain.
Right now, as if you're playing football, you consider punting.
Oh, Vader scoops him up and slams him.
Look at a big smile on the face of the 7-time world champ, Harley Race. Outside the ring, Race loves it. Race taunting Sting from outside the ring. Up he goes again, down he goes again.
Man, what power of Vader. And this is not the way Sting wanted, obviously, this match to begin. Oh, he ran at him, and Vader met him. Vader met him with those big tree-like forearms and knocked him down.
And Sting's playing right into Vader's hands.
Vader extending the arm. Look at the strength. Military pressing him. Oh, my! Sting looked like a human javelin. He just speared him right across the top cable in a stun gun-like maneuver. He drilled him right across the top rope. And Vader methodical.
Hear that? Harley Race is saying, what do you think about that, Ross? Oh, you did it to him again.
I think it's devastating. That's what I think about it. I don't know of any other athlete in the world that could
Ross,
do that.
Maybe if Sting's smart, he'll just take the count out and come back, for the final event, the Battle Bowl.
Well, that would be the act of a quitter, and he certainly is not a quitter.
But sometimes it's smart to be a quitter. to win the Ultimate Championship at the end.
Vader meets Sting coming back in. Rights and lefts, and they are heavy, heavy hands. Ooh, he missed that clothesline. Sting trying to pick it up. Oh, great move by Sting. Took the big man off his feet. That was a great martial arts move by Sting.
He got the big man off his feet.
Caught him again, and Vader down. He caught him right in the face with his foot, and Sting takes the big man down on 2 consecutive offensive moves. Waistlock. Oh, big old. A suplex. Sting.
And the crowd is going wild.
Got him the clothesline. More momentum from the ropes. And they both go over. Vader down on his knees. He was rocked by the clothesline all the way over.
He ripped the headgear right off of Vader. He hit Vader so hard with that clothesline, it tore the headgear off him.
Vader. Oh, Sting got a bolt. He got a bolt. He came over the top. Crossbody, both of them. Man, the roof coming off the Omni. Just what a dynamic move by Sting. And Vader is back up on his feet. How scary can that be?
And look at poor Harley Race, the 7-time champ. He thought he'd retired.
Vader pulls his way up. He caught Sting. Sting came over to meet him, and Vader got the right hand in, and then nails him that headbutt. Ooh, those rights, and more rights. Almost knocking the paint off Sting's face.
Clubbing him right on the head, now coming in with lefts to the body. Rights to the head, left to the body.
Irish whip, and Sting quickly out of the way. Arm drag, takes the big monster down. Stinger splash, oh no, he kicked him in the face. He kicked him right in the face. Sting went for the Stinger splash. Vader was prepared for that.
Great reaction move by Vader to lift that big foot up and catch Stinger. Sting holds on, and he returns the favor twice.
DDT by the Stinger. This crowd here getting rabid in this King of Cable Championship event. Oh, strength, he picked him up.
You gotta be kidding me. He's gonna try to suplex him off the rope.
I don't know if that physically can be done. Sting, got him! What a move by Sting! Lateral press. Oh, Vader kicked out at 2.5.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed. I didn't think nobody could ever do that to Big Van Vader.
Sting going for the Scorpion. The Scorpion deathlock. Trying to turn him over.
He's got him over.
He's got him in it.
He's got him over.
He's got him in the Scorpion. And Vader is in the ropes. Sting will have to break it. Vader able to reach and grab the bottom rope. And he is now outside. Vader's knee really ripped there by Sting, who's measured a big man. Oh! Vader dropped out of sight as Sting hit the steel. Vader's mouth is bleeding.
Sting made a major mistake there. He should have kept it in the ring, Ross. He let his ego get in the way. He should have kept it into the ring.
They're right out here by us, a little too close for my comfort. Vader back in the ring. Ray said, get back in the ring. Vader can win the King of Cable title via countout. Sting is, well, I'll tell you, he is hurt badly. I don't think he'll make it back.
Well, it was his mistake, Ross. He had Vader going. He should have stayed in the ring instead of taking it out to the floor.
He's back in here. Oh, he's in a helpless state here. This is the referee's got to be very, very careful here. Sting gets into a position where he absolutely can't defend himself. Vader could end the career in a heartbeat. Oh, clothesline. clothesline.
And right now, Sting, it's exactly that. He can't defend himself. He's laying prone, spread eagled in the ring. Vader can do what he wants.
Irish whip. He followed him in. All 450 pounds. And catches him and takes him down with another clothesline. Sting in deep, deep trouble here at Starrcade 92. Vader lateral press, and Sting able to kick out. Vader said as important as it was to win the King of Cable title, it was equally as important to put Sting out of wrestling. He wants to do it right here. Sting's busted Vader's mouth. Oh, right, straight right hand. Another straight right. Sting can barely stand.
It's knocking the paint off of him.
Vader has him up. Oh, gosh. Man, what a suplex.
Beautiful suplex by the big man.
What a suplex.
And Sting is down and prone, and he's setting him up.
Vader blasting. He splashed him. And Vader got the splash, but he is disgusted with himself because he thought he had him right there, and he may have too much torque on that leg and pulled Sting through. He thought he had it right there. He wanted that right there. Vader very frustrated with himself on that splash. Man, you talk about a reverse chin lock to another level.
I'll tell you what, and I'll say it again, Jim Ross. Sting made the mistake when he went out to the floor. He had this match, and he took it to the floor, and that was the mistake of mistakes against Big Van Vader.
Submission move here, Jess. Have you ever experienced this one?
Look at it, no. Look at this, he's twisting his head. Sting may have to submit right here. Look at Vader's gonna measure him.
Oh, man. Lateral press, this could be half a count. He got the left shoulder just up. You just barely saw daylight under Sting's left shoulder.
You know, he might have been better than get pinned. He's gonna get hurt now.
Sting able to block it. He's got both arms hooked. Sting is gonna take a tremendous amount of strength to get this big monster down. Can he? Yes, he can. Can he hold it? 1, 2 and a half. A half away.
Excellent move by Sting, but not quite the power to hold the 450-pound Vader for a 3 count. He got a 2 out of it.
Irish whip. Sting, and he's moving out of the way. Vader, he dropped all 450 straight south, but Sting able to move out of the way. I'll tell you what, when he's going south, you better go east or west.
And does that hurt the tailbone when you got that kind of weight and you come down flat on it?
Oh,
and again,
man.
Vader measuring those right hands.
See, this is what, the referee has got to really use some discretion here.
Now Sting still defending himself. Referee can't jump in. It's when he don't defend himself anymore.
Vader kicked him right in the ribs. You could almost hear the air rush out of Sting's body. This man is so huge. And Sting, oh, what a counter! That was a phenomenal counter. He may have used every bit of strength he had left in that counter.
Look who's up first, Vader.
Vader on top, Sting able to get a shoulder up again. Vader unable to fully execute the lateral press.
That's got to be just plain depressing as hell when you do the move and the other guy's up first.
And now Sting he's got to endure this 450 over his shoulders, collapsing his lungs. He's not able to get any deep breaths.
And look at here, Vader measuring those big right hands and forearms. Sting trying to cover up. He's taking a lot of them on his forearms, but look at Vader just boxing his ears.
Sting trying to cover up and protect himself, but Vader's hammering it. If this would be a boxing match, it would be over. But I realize it isn't.
Look at Race, he says finish him off.
Kicked him right in the ribs again. Sting trying to cover up. But look at Vader clubbing. Those forearms are like tree trunks. You know, Sting can hold on here. Maybe Vader will punch himself out.
What are you saying? He's trying to use rope-a-dope, what Ali did to Foreman and Zaire?
Hey, if it worked then, it may work now.
Rope-a-dope.
Uh-oh. Vader sent him back up there. Sting is helpless. He has taken every shot this 450-pounder can dish out.
Well, if Vader hits this, I don't know where Sting's going to kick out from.
I don't know where his body parts are going to be.
Sting knows it too. Oh, he thumbed him.
Thumbed him right in the eye. Caught him with the right hand. Vader, oh my, the whole ring shook. Sting fatigued, battered, and hammered. Both men are down. Vader up on one knee. Sting trying to pull himself up. Vader up now. And he goes right back to the Stinger. Has him in the corner. Again, those forearms, they're right above us. Man, I've never seen any impact like that in my career. Look at Sting says, come on. He's taking every shot that Vader can dish out. Look at him.
I think he's crazy. Why would you invite this guy in?
He is, as he said, he wanted to survive it and take him as far as he could go. Maybe Vader will punch out. That happened with Ali and Foreman.
I'll tell you, Vader's punches are getting weaker.
Maybe he's fatiguing a little. Sting is taking himself to another level. He has had to survive here. Oh, he caught Vader. He caught Vader. Vader's sucking the air.
He caught him again. A third one.
Vader is gasping for air now himself. Big right hand takes him down. Oh, Stinger holding himself up, but he knocked Big Van Vader down. And Vader, that big tank, is sucking in the air now. Oh, look, Sting got him. Fall away slam.
But Vader's leg is over the rope.
Vader's in the ropes.
Great power move by the Stinger, but he did it too close to the ropes.
Sting now up on top. Here it comes. Cardiac splash. This could be everyone. And Vader powers out. Oh, any other man in wrestling would have been counted out there and race up on the apron. Sting, don't turn your back on Vader. And he did, and he paid for it. Well, Race did his job there.
Well, Sting shouldn't have fell for it. You should forget about Race.
You're right about that, but he didn't. And he paid the price. And now it's Vader back on the attack. Takes him down right by the throat.
And Vader says it's over. He's going up.
He missed that splash earlier. He may not miss it now. Oh, my. Vader caught him. He wanted to hook it, and Vader's the impact of Vader hitting Sting. He bounced right off of him, but he drilled the Stinger right into the canvas. 2 times in this match, Vader has failed to properly execute his big splash, and he is frustrated.
Well, he's going up for a 3rd time.
Vader will go up one more time. 450 pounds up there, and he slammed him! He slammed him! And he got him! He got him!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, and now the King of People, Sting!
What a wrestling match! What a wrestling match, ladies and gentlemen! Sting has survived it! His strategy worked! He held on! He took everything that Big Van Vader could dish out! There you see a high-risk move as Sting came right off the top. A big splash. But even that move. Could not put Vader away. But look at this. 450 right off the top. And he planted it. The Stinger is the king of cable. What a contest. Sting and Vader hammering each other. Let's go up for the presentation of the trophy with Jesse the Body Ventura.
I'll tell you what, Stinger, I was a doubter. I didn't think it could be done. I didn't think you could win the King of Cable against that monster Big Van Vader, but I stand corrected. That was one hell of a match and one hell of a victory. Congratulations.
Well, I came out with a win, Jesse, but it was also one hell of a butt kicking that I took. I'll have you know.
Well, you earned that trophy.
Thank you very much. I just have one thing to say. One thing left tonight, and that's Battle Bowl to make it a complete night 2 years in a row.
Unbelievable. If he can come back and win that trophy and win Battle Bowl, that'll be a feat beyond belief. Let's go to my colleagues now, Tony Schiavone and Larry the Cruncher Zbyszko.
Tremendous action for the King of Cable and, of course, for the Unified Tag Team Championship. And as we approach Battle Bowl, an 8-man go for the prestigious Battle Bowl ring. We just saw Sting and Big Van Vader have to come right back now and compete in Battle Bowl.
You know, number one, I still find it hard that Sting came through with the victory. It was a brutal, brutal match. I'm finding it hard to imagine these two men coming back and participating in Battle Bowl. When you talk about the ring, you know, looks will leave you, money will leave you, women will leave you, usually when the money runs out, but that Battle Bowl ring is something you can keep to your dying day.
Recently, I had a chance, fans, to talk to Paul Hornung, the golden boy of professional football, as we take a look at the making of the prestigious Battle Bowl ring. Of course, Sting received the 1991 Battle Bowl ring, and the winner of this over-the-top rope Battle Royal will receive the Battle Bowl ring for 1992. Had a chance to chat with Paul Hornung, the golden boy. Here's a man who has the first Super Bowl ring from Super Bowl I in 1967. He told me about how important a ring is to professional athletes.
Well, it's a symbol of accomplishment. Like I said, it's a symbol of achievement. Long after the looks and the body give out, you've got a remembrance to last a lifetime.
Before we see Battle Bowl, fans, to cap off Starrcade, here's a conversation I had with Paul Hornung.
I'm very happy to be sitting beside of Paul Hornung. And Paul, thank you very much for spending some time with us. We want to talk about Battle Bowl, Starrcade, coming up on Monday, December 28th. The big event is in World Championship Wrestling. You spent many great years with the Packers on championship teams. You have your Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, right here.
And all the great athletes always say, yeah, we play for the money, and the money is a big part of it. But that ring is something that you take with you the rest of your life.
I really think it is. As far as professional football is concerned, you always hear that even in today's game, as much money as the kids are making today, they want to be a part of a Super Bowl championship team. And it is very, very special. We were fortunate having won 5 championships in 7 years there under Coach Lombardi. And he, I think, started making the ring bigger and bigger each year because he wanted our guys to really aspire to win the thing back. So they had to have some nugget at the end of the year that would really want us to, you know, maybe to get up, to get that little 110% effort. And I think you guys have got the same opportunity. I think if you make the prize, the Battle Bowl ring, so to speak, and one guy's going to win it every year, I'll guarantee you, whoever is in that playoff will want to win that ring because it signifies that you're the best. You're the best at what you do. As far as pro football is concerned, you're best as a team. That's as good as you can get. And as far as you all are concerned, I would think that that ring would signify who's the #1 man in the business.
Exactly. Okay, Paul, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now, what we have all been waiting for, it is time for Battle Bowl! To follow over the top rope Battle Royal rules. To be eliminated, you must be thrown over the top rope and land on the arena floor. The participants, Odessa, Florida, Dangerous Dan Spivey, Austin, Texas, The Natural, Dustin Rhodes. From the land of the rising sun, the Great Muta. Texas, Barry Windham. Now residing in Nagoya, Japan, Dr. Death, Steve Williams. From New York City, heavy metal, Van Hammer. Accompanied by 7-time former world heavyweight champion, Harley Race. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Ben Vader. And ladies and gentlemen, last year's winner of the coveted Battle Bowl Championship ring from Venice Beach, California, this is Sting!
Oh, Vader attacking Sting out there on the rampway. It's 8 men. Every man for himself here. Over the top rope, all the way to the floor. No pinfalls and no disqualifications in this one.
And when it's all over, there'll be one man standing in the middle, and he'll be the Battle Bowl winner. And next year at this time, he'll receive the ring that Sting got tonight.
Sting and Vader there on the outside. Spivey and Muta hammering each other. Doc and Heavy Metal Van Hammer, and then there's Windham and Rhodes, and you knew those two wanted to get together and tear each other's head off. Doc right above us here.
And now we got all 8 of them in the ring, finally. Sting and Vader coming in the ring. There's some great split screen. You can watch all the action now. Windham smacking Sting.
Vader holding Sting and Windham hammering away in the bottom left of your screen there. You saw that.
I can't see how Vader and Sting are going to have much left. They can't be favorites in this. The advantage Vader's got, though, he's 450 pounds, so it's hard to throw him over the top.
It may take a forklift to get him to the floor. Or at least a couple of 3 guys. We're gonna let you see the action just as we are. It's all over the place. Hard to call it all, and you can call that one. Dustin Rhodes just nailed Windham.
And there you see Spivey trying to get Van Hammer over the top. Trying to wedge him, use every bit of strength he's got. If you go out over the top and you land on the floor, it's all over, you're eliminated.
You've got to go all the way to the floor and not just the apron. Well, that is one trip south that will not be too pleasant for 7 of these athletes. Spivey just nailed Muta. Vader just picks up Sting like a rag doll.
It's interesting to see who pairs against who, because it's every man for himself in this baby.
Well, Sting and Vader, no surprise, and Windham and Rhodes, certainly no surprise. Boom! Oh, what a clothesline. Sting had just been rocked. Man, his body is going to be black and blue and sore for a week. All these guys are punishing each other. But Sting and Vader had no time to recuperate. Spivey's got Sting up on his shoulders on the far side, on the right part of your screen there.
And here comes Windham to help. Stinger's in big trouble. Sting could be the first man eliminated.
And Muta stuck that foot right on the ribs of Spivey. Dustin Rhodes and Dr. Death Steve Williams on the far side. Right part of your screen there. Rhodes almost out of it there. Williams trying to put him over the top. Sting's up still on the shoulders of Dangerous Dan Spivey. And Muta catches Spivey right in the hamstring with a martial arts kick.
Now what makes Muta and Sting so close? It's every man for himself. I think that's ridiculous when somebody comes along and saves somebody from going out over the top.
Williams about to go over from the hands of Dustin Rhodes, and Vader interrupted that. Doc stomps on Muta's back. Muta, Van Hammer, both at disadvantages right now. And Sting, Spivey has just latched on to Sting like a pit bulldog, trying to put him over. All the way outside, Sting holding on the ropes. Vader and Rhodes, who were tag team partners earlier, getting it on.
Well, they're not tag team partners now. That's what I mean. This is every man for himself. And again, I'll say it, I don't understand why people come along and save their buddy in this thing. That ain't what it's all about.
Sting came through the ropes. He's still eligible. Wyndham landed on the apron. Williams suplex by Muta. And there's bodies landing all over this place.
And they're all tiring out. Who's going to have the strength to get anybody over the top? You got 5 guys on their knees right now.
Tremendously intense, a very physical challenge for all 8 of these to hold on. Sting on Vader's back, trying to get the sleeper. Wyndham buried to right there, and Van Hammer is in the corner to your left part of the screen. Now,
you know what they need to do in this situation, Ross? About 4 or 5 of them need to jump on Vader right now and eliminate Vader while you got enough bodies in there to do it. That's tactics.
Muta in danger, going over the top. At the hands of Dangerous Dan Spivey.
And Van Hammer's been eliminated.
Heavy Metal Van Hammer eliminated from Battle Bowl.
Oh, Rhodes just bulldog Wyndham out on the rampway. He dropped him on the rampway on a bulldog.
Now that don't count as no elimination.
No, it doesn't. There's 7 left.
Heavy Metal Van Hammer, the first one to go, courtesy of Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
Oh, great move. Doc suplexes Vader. And Sting just dropped Spivey over. Is Spivey gone?
I don't think so. Is he? Yes, he is.
Referee's got to make a call here.
He made the call. Apparently, they're counting. If you get flipped out to the runway, that's the same as the floor.
Rhodes almost over the top, but remember, you got to go, as Jesse said, all the way to the floor or to the ramp on that side of the ring. Dustin Rhodes raking the eyes of the great Muta. Doc stomping on Sting, and they were tag team partners earlier. Remember, it's every man for himself here.
Now especially when you get down to 6. You got 2 gone, 6 left. Vader with Muta hanging over the top.
And Sting saves Muta. Separates Vader from the great Muta. Sting and Vader in the corner, they're right above us here. Man, Vader's so big he blocks out the ring lights, like blocking out the sun.
I'll tell you what, now it's an endurance factor. Most of these guys have all wrestled, every one of them has wrestled once or twice. And we'll see who's got, whoa!
Vader
And Sting and Vader are both gone.
What's the call?
He's got to eliminate them both.
Ladies and gentlemen, both Sting and Big Van Vader have been eliminated from Battle Bowl.
They eliminated each other. We're down to 4. We're halfway.
4. Yes, we are. We're halfway here, the final 4. Left in Battle Bowl. Suplex by Dustin Rhodes on Barry Windham. Dr. Death Steve Williams assaulting the great Muta with those elbows right in his head. Windham, who broke Dustin Rhodes' arm. We saw it on the main event on TBS just a few weeks ago. Former tag team partners and best friends, no more. 4 men left.
Now it's critical time, Jim Ross, because whoever gets eliminated next, then you got the possibility of a 2-on-1 situation.
Muta with those martial arts kicks has Dr. Death in trouble. But it's a straight Texas right hand.
And Wyndham bleeding profusely from the nose in there.
Big time. His nose has been busted wide open at the hands of Dustin Rhodes. His mouth, and Rhodes is getting some payback here.
Probably hit him with that cast, Ross. That's probably knowing Dustin Rhodes. I'll bet you he hit Wyndham with that cast, and that's what broke him open.
Could have happened, and it's legal. Wyndham snap-married over. Doc kicks Muta. And again, Dustin Rhodes drives his fist right down into the bloody face of Barry Windham. And Windham, with a glazed look on his eye, is almost out of it. Right hand. He caught him coming in. Oh, he planted him. He planted him there. But remember, there's no pinfalls. You got to go over the top, all the way to the floor to be eliminated.
It's going to be very interesting when the next guy's eliminated. Then you get a 2-on-1 situation.
I don't know how Wyndham's even breathing. He's having to breathe through his mouth. I think his nose is broke. Man, these two guys got to settle their differences somewhere. I don't know if it'll be tonight, but man, somewhere they're going to have a fight. Just like we're seeing here. Wyndham regains the advantage. Muta with a headbutt on Dr. Death.
And Wyndham's going up to the top, it looks like.
This is like a human demolition derby.
Interesting move in this type of match, a battle. Whoa! If Rhodes knocks him out to the floor, it's over. Why did he bring him in? Why did he bring him in?
Straight right hand again, right to the face. He wants to punish him some more, and maybe...
The name of the game, Ross, is win.
I understand
not
that.
Punish people. Dustin Rhodes has taken this personal.
Well, heck yeah, he's taking it personal, Jess. They were best friends. Maybe you've never had a best friend that turned his back on you.
I've had a best friend, but I keep it business, Ross, and this is business. You go in there to win, not hurt people. He could have thrown Wyndham over the top.
Wyndham trying to pick him up by one leg, and Dr. Death.
Whoa, and they're both out.
They both went out.
Both Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and the natural
It's Wyndham and Muta.
eliminated from Battle Bowl.
It's Muta and Wyndham.
And the crowd here, they are solidly behind the great Muta, the battered and bloody Barry Windham, and he is, man, look at that battle-scarred face that has been an intense competition here at the 10th Annual Battle Bowl. Starrcade 92, straight right hand by Windham. We are down to 2 men.
Wyndham suckered Muta with that one. He got him looking up at the hand, going to lock up Knuckles, and he caught him with the right hand. Early advantage, Wyndham.
Wyndham's got that front face lock. Now it's a matter of trying to weaken your man and weaken him and finally get him into such a state that you can throw him over the top rope. Remember, no pinfalls here, no submissions here.
Here he goes.
Muta able to grab the second rope and hold on. Wyndham trying to put him over, trying to get him off the top rope.
And look at Muta. He's hanging on like a fly to fly paper.
Suplex.
Smart move by Wyndham. Soften him up some more. Didn't have him knocked out enough to get him over the top. Gives him the suplex. Soften him up a little bit more and he'll wing him out over the top. Advantage Wyndham all the way here right now.
Both these men have competed not only in lethal lottery matches, but in championship matches. Prior to this, the fatigue factor, it's got to be a major, major issue. A superplex right off the top.
If pinfalls could win it, Wyndham would win it right now.
Wyndham, oh, standing drop kick from a man 6'6", 280 pounds. That's a phenomenal athletic maneuver. And here he goes.
Over the
Coming
top.
right at us here, but Muta hung on. Muta hung on. He's still in it. Drop kick. Down goes Windham. Another drop kick.
Oh, Muta wins it. Muta wins it. That's got to be a major upset.
The winner of Starrcade 92's Battle Bowl, the Great Muta!
The second annual Battle Bowl has been won by the Great Muta. Jesse, let's take another look at this one.
Absolutely. Remarkable move by Muta. Windham thought he had him. Here's where Windham thought it was all his. He fires Muta over the top rope. Figures he's out to the floor. There's the mistake Barry Windham made. Didn't keep an eye on him. Muta springing back in. Up with a beautiful drop kick. Catches Windham. Stuns him there. Second drop kick puts Barry Windham over the top rope. Out to the floor. Muta wins Battle Bowl, and that's got to be an upset, Jim Ross, in anybody's book.
Great Muta, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion from New Japan Pro Wrestling with a very, I would say a surprising victory because he had such a grueling match with Chono, Jess, in the NWA title match.
But they all did. That's what made it pretty fair out there. Each guy had already wrestled. They were wore out. It came down to endurance. And again, I'll state it. I think Muta, upset winner, which goes to show you anything can happen at Battle Bowl.
Let's take a look. Let's go back and take a look at this card, Jess. We saw, as we said, Muta and Masahiro Chono for the NWA Championship. Chono again showing that the STF is one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating, finishing maneuver in the sport.
Well, if you hook it, you're going to win it. Chono showed that because Muta, tremendous wrestler who can stand pain beyond belief. When he was caught, when Chono got him in the STF, it was over. Even Muta had to quit.
I know a lot of the promoters from New Japan Pro Wrestling here. Perhaps they'll sign that one for a rematch on January the 4th in the Tokyo Dome. Big news, ravishing Rick Rude, neck injury, unable to wrestle Ron Simmons. Simmons and Williams, disqualification victory for Simmons on the reversal. But this Rude situation is very, very tenuous. The tournament's going to start Saturday.
I told you already, I think it's political. It's totally political on WCW. Political with you, Bill Watts. What you're doing to the U.S. Heavyweight Championship is a disgrace.
Well, that's certainly Jesse's editorial opinion, ladies and gentlemen. But remember, Rude hasn't defended the United States title since November. So what's the story there? What's the defense of that?
You're telling me this is the biggest day of Rude's life. Rude prepared all year to beat Ron Simmons, and a doctor takes it away from him. Let's shed a few tears for ravishing Rick Rude.
Fans, don't forget that Super Brawl 3 comes your way on February 21st. For our entire broadcast staff, Jesse the Body Ventura, I'm Jim Ross, wishing you a very happy holidays and good night from the Omni.